Hello everybody, welcome into the NSRA Sunday Select Series here live from Legacy Daytona. Getting ready to get started. Apologies for being a little bit late. Got caught up in some traffic. Getting right down to it, trackside though, as we get ready for the green flag. Looking at your starting grid, it's going to be Cody Nagels on the pole here tonight. Second, it's going to be Dawson Wise, Robert Jordan, and John Guerra making up that row two. Vicente Guerrero starting fifth. He's got Dusty Burkhart to his outside in sixth. Dana Osborne in seventh with Michael Triscaro to his outside in eighth. Richard Sanchez will start ninth. Going to be Robert E. Morrison making up the top 10 position. Bubba Winningham starting 11th. Alex Green starting to his outside in 12th. Row 7 is going to be Les Levy and Alex Giffen. DJ Thomas starts in 15th. David Overstreet in 16th. Mark Van back in 17th with Chad French in 18th. Larry Dickerson in 19th. Stephen McComas in the 20th position. And rounding out your field tonight is going to be Len McNeese and Adam Kilday. They will start from row 11. Looking at your race info here tonight, again, the biggest change from what we're used to seeing here is that we're at Legacy Daytona. Still going to be the NASCAR Xfinity Series for 80 laps around this place tonight. 50% fuel. Everybody's going to have unlimited tires, 2 fast pairs if they need them, fixed setups. And, of course, we do have 2 green-white checkers. Track temps scorching at over 126 degrees. It's the Chevyland 200, and it's about to get underway. Here we go. Pace car makes the hard left turn onto the pits. Cody Nagels, Dawson Wise, green flag is in the air. We are racing at Legacy Daytona. Through the short chute into the travel, we go to complete lap 1, and it's going to be the 98 of Dawson Wise taking it. John Guerra still pushing pretty good on the outside as they run right now. And just behind Cody, he does have a teammate right now, in fact, and that is actually Dawson Wise, of course, one of the teammates. But just behind Cody Nagels right now, he does have Robert Jordan, another one of the limited drivers in the field here tonight. Those two going to try to tandem down this long back straightaway, see if they can maybe get something going. But again, Daytona Legacy, it's a tricky track as it stands already. A lot of bumps. In fact, before we get any farther, let's show you just how bumpy it is. I mean, look at these guys through the turn. The wheel is constantly working. There is no real dead spot or a chance to really take a breather. It's definitely probably the most physically testing track that these guys run all season. Get on the straightaways, things smooth out a little bit, but the point is, being made from this 3 wide is going to be very, very tricky to do here. And as the run goes on and these tires wear out, it's going to get really, really hard to have any sort of good handling. Of course, recently we got the new update, new damage model for the Xfinity cars, so they do handle a little bit more nimbly now, if you will. And so these guys got to be real careful about what sort of adjustments they make in car and during the race. The wheel movements, you don't want to do anything too quick. You could cause a pretty big accident. Dawson Wise still leads the way out back. Some of these guys, I think, know that things might be a little sketchy here to start. Does look like Stephen McComas with some issues. He was not able to start the race, still sits on pit road right now. Larry Dickerson, one of the rookies, currently last car in the field as it stands. He is in 20th position in the 25 machine. Actually, Len McNeese, the last running car right now. And they're making a couple moves back here, but for the most part, you see everyone's just kind of staying in line. And I think they're just trying to get some of these laps ticked off, if you will, excuse me. And that first pit stop, I would expect probably somewhere maybe around lap 20 would have to be the general estimate. In that general range would be around the window. We'll see how early or late guys decide to pit. But right now, the top line by Dawson Wise, that seems to be the place to be at. A lot of these guys continuing to work on the bottom together, but they just can't seem to make much progress. John Guerra, though, and Dawson Wise up top, they've been able to continue to lock bumpers down the backstretch, and that gives them all the momentum. And now the 88 gets into the outside wall ever so slightly. You saw it get real bumpy. Those bumps took the 88 right up into that outside wall, but he gathered it back up, got back down the track. And out of all, well, we've went to Talladega and then, of course, Daytona. And out of the 2 tracks we've been to, this race right here at Legacy Daytona is probably the first one where I'd say we're guaranteed to see a couple cautions. I mean, There's just no way that these guys are going to be able to hold on to these cars for 80 laps straight with how much the handling starts to hurt on the end of a fuel run. I mean, I got to think you take 4 tires during probably every pit stop. Normally we wouldn't say that at a plate track. There's Stephen McComas. Looks like he did make a return on track. The bad news for him is as he sits in 22nd, he's 2 laps down. Again, a couple cautions. He maybe gets himself back on the lead lap, but he's going to need those cautions soon. He doesn't want to get himself in danger of potentially going yet another lap down. Bottom line, starts to make a little bit of a charge here, man. John Kara got really loose there. I'm not sure if the 69 gave him just a little bit of a push, Dusty Burkhart, or if that was just it washing up all by itself. We got another one in the wall. That's Robert Morrison. And again, you just keep seeing more and more guys start to just bump the wall in different areas. I would say probably about the middle of the corner is usually the sketchiest place. Let's go to Cody now, who's leading the inside. And actually we'll go to the cockpit cam for this. And I watch here when he gets down into turn 3. You see he's actually got an offset in his steering. And I think part of that is he doesn't want to have to do too much movement with the wheel if he doesn't have to. But watch closely here as he gets into turn 3. And there's going to be a couple different areas where it gets bumpy. There's the first one. Then towards the middle of the corner, there's the second one, and he's going to try to arc it down here on exit, which he does nicely, but you can hear he's not able to hold it wide open. Just a slight little burps out of the gas here and there. Just trying to help keep that car down. His man right there, he got a little bit onto the apron coming through the tri-oval. John Guerra on the outside pushing 98 of Dawson Wise. He's in probably one of the hardest positions to be in, the lead pusher. You got to stay really close to the car in front of you, all while keeping your car in control and under a certain area so that you don't get up to that outside wall. And then down the backstretch here, he pulls up to the back bumper, the 98, just enough to give him a little bit of a tap. Looks like he's maybe being a little bit more conservative right now. I think he's giving the 98 more of an aero push than he is a physical push. Robert Jordan, real careful. Notice guys don't really get close to each other in the corners here either. We see a lot of times at New Daytona and then Talladega, certain guys, if they have enough team chemistry together, they will push each other through the corners. But as you can see, that is not the case right now. Robert Jordan is staying a safe distance away from the back bumper of his teammate Cody Nagels. And then John Guerra is staying a safe distance away from the back bumper right now of Dawson Wise. Jordan on the apron. Can he save this one? He's still trying here. He's got 1 tire on the apron. He saves it, but out back we got a half spin. Looked like it was it the 34 car? Couldn't tell who it was just yet. It was the 94, rather, of Chad French. One of the rookies in the field. He does a good job saving it. That was a really, really close call for Robert Jordan right there. Honestly, probably the whole field. Let's go ahead and back this up a little bit. It does cost Robert Jordan some track position, and that breaks the field up. But let's look where this is going to start. I think it's just kind of by himself right here. Hits one of those little bumps getting down into the turn, and then car just does not want to work with him from that point on. Here we go. Take a look from the chopper cam. So he follows in on the back bumper here of Cody, and he's trying to predict the turn a little bit. I got to expect here. I don't know, though. He gets up. No, I think maybe just gets a little bit of a bump on entry. That sends down to the apron, and it's still a pretty abrupt change, and he's just trying everything to hold on to it. Washes up, and then further out back is where Chad French, just kind of the innocent victim via the checkup. He just had to kind of stop, go down to the apron, and he also had a fantastic save right here. Yeah, you see the 14 wash up. Looks like the 62, of course, had to check up, and he might have got a little help right there from Richard Sanchez. A little hard to tell, but again, everybody kept it together, so we stayed green. Robert Jordan, because of that, though, has fallen back now to the 13th position. He was sitting in 3rd, and then, of course, Chad French, unfortunately for him, looks like he has lost the draft, and he will not have any help unless somehow Stephen McComas, who's 2 laps down, is able to get to him. The bad news for Steven there is that didn't draw a lot of caution, and that kind of dumped the car off from the lead pack. So now he's going to have to worry about, does Chad French maybe go a lap down here sooner or later? And then that would, of course, hurt his chances of getting a lucky dog if we were to get a caution. The shakeup has kind of escalated to the front, too. Cody Nagels is no longer the leader on the inside. Now it's Dusty Burkhart. Dawson Wise still leading the outside, and the 15 of Alex Green. He's making a run up here. He's got a good-looking paint scheme tonight, too. Advanced Auto Parts, 15 Chevy Camaro. Michael Triscaro back and forth. He is up 4 from where he started running on the outside. And, you know, I got to be honest, I'm kind of surprised that it stayed green this long, but maybe it's one of those things where at a track that everything feels a little bit extra sketchy. Guys know it's extra sketchy. they're a little bit more careful about how aggressive they're going to be. They're worried about how often do they risk trying to take it 3 wide, which, I mean, we haven't even seen yet tonight. I think we'll see it at some point, maybe late in the race, but right now everybody is very content to stay double file. And that first pit stop is going to be quickly approaching here shortly. 11 laps in, going to be 12 at the line, and expecting that pit stop to be somewhere around lap 20. I would say give or take a couple laps. And you will see the teams try to pit with each other. The Limitless guys all going to go in together. Dawson Wise, Michael Triscaro, a couple of those guys. Robert E. Morrison, I'm not sure. He might be with the Limitless guys as well here. There's the 68 of David Overstreet. He has now moved up to the 7th position, up 9 from where he started. We actually saw him running a little bit further towards the back of the pack at the start of this race. Not sure if it was through the shakeup or if he just decided to get aggressive, but he has been on the move. In fact, one of your biggest movers inside the top 10 right now, Alex Green, the other one up 8 from where he started. David Overstreet's going to pick up another position here as he continues to move up on the inside. And that makes him now plus 10 from where he started. DJ Thomas got a win to open up the season at Daytona, so he knows this place pretty well. We'll see if he can get a win tonight. He will be one of those guys that going with the Limitless group. Robert Jordan, one of his teammates too, is inside, and the 99 of Alex Giffen had a couple good runs since the start of the season. Had a pretty good run going last week. Things didn't quite work out. And there's Len McNeese in the 84, part of that crazy finish that we saw last week. Bubba Winningham currently sitting in the 17th position, down 16 from where he started. Bubba, though, is, of course, the sponsor of tonight's race, the Chevyland 200. Well, I believe he's the general manager of Chevyland, and they do deliver anywhere. Make sure you go check out. I think it's Chevyland.com. Fortunately, when I had to rush in, I didn't get Discord up in time, so I'm not able to see exactly what it was. And so we'll bring that up, have some more on it by the end of the race. And another thing we'll have some more info on by the end of the race is we're going to try to see if we can maybe take a general look at some of the points. I'm not sure if these guys run it through Sim Racing Hub or just do it manually. And yeah, Bubba Winningham, who currently sits back there. We're on Dawson Wise now, but yep, you can go check out Chevyland.com, and they do deliver anywhere. He is the sponsor of tonight's race. Chevyland it is. Dawson Wise, though, continuing to lead the way. 14 now of 80 laps complete. Pit stops just about 6 laps away when we cross the line. Next time, the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Still on the inside, but notice the gap between second, or I would say second on the inside and third on the inside. It's pretty big. David Overstreet is playing very conservative right now in that 8th position now. Leaving enough of a gap that if Robert E. Morrison wanted to jump down, he certainly could. And the other question that we're waiting to kind of see is when do these guys decide to go down to the bottom? That's usually a pretty good indication of pit stops to come shortly. But right now, everybody continues to stay up in that top line and bottom line, 2 lanes, if you will. And the 14 a little bit further back, Vicente Guerrero. He has been up a couple positions, down a couple positions, but he's been stuck right around the middle of the pack. Does have a teammate behind him in DJ Thomas. And a lot of the guys that were sitting back earlier have started to close the distance up a bit here. And the last running car is still Len McNeese. Mark Mann, one of the final 4 from last season in that 04 machine. He is sent towards the back of this pack right now. I think he's waiting to see if we can get to this first pit stop before he tries to maybe get any more aggressive. I probably note pit stops here are not going to be easy. I mean, getting down to pit speed with as bumpy of a track as it is here at Legacy Daytona is not going to be very fun. Taking a look there, and you see the pit road. It comes up pretty quick off of turn 4. You got to make sure you get on the brakes pretty quickly, but you don't want to get on them too much. It's very easy to lock up, and if you lock up, you are going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Through 1 and 2, we still work. Still side by side up front, and I'm kind of surprised because that outside line has had 3 guys since about the start of this race. And they surged ahead early in the going, but late here, that seems like they're only able to get really 1 car clear. Occasionally, Dawson Wise. Good news for Dawson is by continuing to stay and roll that top line, he is able to maintain the lead. He's probably led the most laps at this point so far. Man, Dusty Burkhart washing up a little bit there, but it should be pretty easy for him to jump down when he's getting ready for pit stops. All he's going to need is a pretty good push from John Cara down one of the straightaways. David Overstreet looks like he's going to close up that gap just a little bit now. Michael Triscaro on his outside, and look what we got going on back here. A lot of guys now getting single file. Going back there, of course, Chad French, Stephen McComa, still 2 guys looking for a caution. But yeah, up front, Just about everybody has gotten into that single file line. Looks like the 8 of Dana Osborne is one of the few cars still stuck on the outside. And then you have to go to the front where there is still 4 guys stuck on the outside. That's Dawson Wise, John Guerra, Michael Triscaro. And then make it 3 now. Looks like the 62 machine was able to jump down in line, find a spot. That's Les Levy. And maybe Dawson's starting to think to himself as he stayed up a little bit too long here. He's going to have to get down. Pit stops are going to be coming here shortly. The question is just now, what lap? Doesn't look like anybody peeled off that time. They all stay on the track. Michael Triscaro, one of Dawson's teammates. Maybe he tries to slide down here behind David Overstreet and then maybe make a little bit of a hole for Dawson. We do see that sometimes with different teams. Kind of one guy gets down and then he has to do the dirty work of checking up just a little bit to try to pull the rest of the team down. And Triscaro was not able to slide in line. Dana Osborne for the back, still kind of tucking out here and there, looking to see if there's any room to make some positions up. Sometimes you see a lot of checkups on the inside if everybody is single file in it. But right now they're spaced out pretty good, so I don't know if there's going to be too many checkups. And man, Dusty Burkhart, it looks like he washes up about a quarter of a lane higher each lap. That is just how hard these things are becoming to handle. Tires are pretty worn out, and you know, like I said earlier, I really expect that we're going to see 4 tires on this pit stop. The 15 got really loose right there. That was Alex Green. Through the tribal, that is a very sketchy place to get loose. He was able to save it. And down through turn 1, Dawson Wise, Michael Triscaro were both able to get down to the inside through all of that. Coming up on the 20 lap mark this time, expecting pit stops here, probably either this lap, next lap, or the lap after. Kind of the sweet spot for fuel. That would make it 3 stops for these guys, this being the first stop. Next stop being around lap 40, and then that final stop, of course, being around lap 60. And, oh, Dawson makes some contact, trying to save it. He's not going to do it. We got 3 cars around to the inside they go. Big hit for Richard Sanchez and Dawson Wise. Caution is out. And, man, we were about 1 lap away from making it to the pits, and we're not quite able to do so. Richard Sanchez and Dawson Wise, heavy, heavy damage. Dawson has it in the front and the rear, and Richard just immediately towed. Let's back it up. See where it's going to go wrong here. Looked like somebody on the bottom maybe just washing up ever so slightly. I think it was Dawson. Actually, Dawson may have washed up a little bit here, or did John Guerra come down? Let's see if we can take a look here from the chopper cam. There you go. John Guerra, looks like he's holding a pretty steady wheel here. Dawson coming down. Oh, maybe just hits a bump, and yeah, Dawson washes up a little bit, and I think there's actually a slight bit of net code between the left door and the right door there for the 88 and the 98. And yeah, just ever so slight net code. That sends Dawson down to the apron, and he's got too much speed to hold it down there. He's trying to check up, get it back up, and then him and Dusty Burkhart get a little net code together. That translates up to Richard Sanchez, and at this point, tires this old, these guys just not quite able to hang on any longer. Dusty, I think, gets away with relatively minimal damage, but Dawson and Richard Sanchez, they got the worst of this one. It was a pretty big hit. Watch the 510 here, trying to steer out of it, and they just run out of time. That's concrete wall here at Legacy Daytona on the inside, so Richard just immediately tow. Let's ride on board though here with Dawson. And watch the wheel work here. You see it with full lock left. He was trying everything to hold it down at this point. Just fortunately couldn't quite do so. And now he's trying to steer out of it. Unfortunately, gets caught up in the kind of secondary wreck of it. And the 98 is going to have to use one of his fast pairs. So is the 510. I think Dusty, like I said, might have got away. Maybe doesn't have to use his fast pair as here comes the field down the pits. Again, expecting everybody here to probably take 4 tires. Cody sure is. And not sure if Dawson had to tow. He probably did, because it sounded like the engine expired there after he wrecked. And yep, as Dawson sits in the pits, there goes his teammates Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, and then it's a 3-wide kind of battle between DJ Thomas, DJ Thomas, David Overstreet, and Robert Jordan. And David Overstreet's got a little damage in the back of his car. I wonder if that was potentially from the last wreck. Again, it's in the back. You usually don't have to use a fast repair on it, but it's definitely something that you're not happy to have. And there you go. Yeah, it's pretty crumpled up in the back for the 68. Nonetheless, though, he's just going to go ahead and take 4 tires and fuel, stay out. We'll see if he comes down to try to fix any more damage. And, you know, with two faster pairs, I feel like the goal has got to be to try to not have to use any of them, at least through halfway to the halfway point, if you will, of the race. And we're not halfway yet. We still got about 20 laps to go until we get to that point. But the next pit stop, I would say this probably didn't change the strategy up too much. In fact, that next pit stop expected, I would say, around lap 40, maybe a couple more on this time, as these guys are under caution. They're going to save a little bit of fuel right here. See if anybody decides to top off. Maybe look for just a slight advantage in the long run, of course, right around the time of that next pit stop. So the 88 of John Guerra is currently being scored as your leader. If anybody is going to top off, it's going to be in the back half of the field. Robert E. Morrison currently being scored in second. Dana Osborne in third, but he is going to go top off on fuel. Actually, a little bit of a late decision there. Alex Green, he now moves up to third. Michael Triscaro fourth. Les Levy back in fifth. Cody Nagels in sixth. DJ Thomas seventh. Vicente Guerrero eighth. Robert Jordan going to be starting from ninth. And Bubba Winningham looks like he's going to be making up the final row inside the top 10, outside of row 5. And the lights are off, so we are going to go back green this time. And it's going to put us at just under 60 laps to go. Been pretty clean so far. I mean, at that point there, if those guys could have held on probably just another lap, I think pit stops were coming. They just, fortunately, just a little bit. No, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the track, washing up a little bit from the bumps. That's exactly what happened to Dawson Wise. And it was not that much of a bobble in the sense of we saw Dusty washed up quite a bit, but it was just enough, got up, made some contact with the car on his outside, and that sent him down and spinning to the inside. Richard Sanchez, of course, talked about he had to use his fast spare, so he is now sitting towards the back of the pack right now. Yeah, he's in that 21st position. The 5'10 machine, Stephen McComas, looks like he was indeed the lucky dog, so he got a lap back to all that, and now he's going to be fighting with the rest of the guys looking to be the lucky dog, which in this case looks like it's going to be Richard Sanchez, Dawson Wise, and then, of course, Stephen himself. David Overstreet, he decided to go back down the pits there, and, yeah, I think he might have been trying to work on that rear end just a little bit more. He'll catch back up to the field as they are pacing currently through turns 3 and 4. And who's your picks to win tonight? You know, in the NSRA, of all the speedway races that I broadcast, I think it's the series where each and every week, for the most part, you got to think anybody's got a chance at it. Teammates do play a big role, though, and Limitless being the biggest team in here, you know they're going to have an advantage if we can make it to green flag pit stops. We haven't been able to do it so far. We'll see if that changes right here. Guerra on the bottom. Robert Morrison, first time in the front row here tonight. He's going to be on the top. Back into the restart zone we go. Green flag is back in the air. Decent start for the 88 of Guerra. He'll have a chance to jump up. No, looks like he's going to stay to the bottom. Now, we saw Dawson prefer the top line. He stayed there for pretty much the entire run until, of course, he was caught up in that caution. But what will John do here? If he gets clear to the bottom, does he jump up? And if you're Robert Morrison and you get clear to the bottom, do you think about maybe jumping down? Track like Legacy Daytona, man, I would say I'd feel safer on the bottom, especially this early in the race. If I can avoid a wreck, that's going to be the goal. Big push down the back straightaway, though, on the inside and the outside. The 15 was locked on. Getting into the turn, man, really testing the waters right there was Alex Green. He pushed John Guerra, I would say, pretty far past the entrance to turn 3. But they made it work. They were able to stay locked together, and it helped keep them even. But for how long? With this hot of a track temp. And, oh, the 43 did jump to the bottom. Guerra has to check up big time. That's going to stack the rest of the field up. Can everybody hold on and save it? 15 of Alex Green's put in an odd spot right here. 3 wide. It's not going to work. 15 hard into the outside wall. Robert Jordan follows him in. And that's going to bring out your second caution of the night. 15 comes to a rolling stop. Down on the apron, he gets it refired. Robert Jordan, the other car involved in this. The front end's pretty banged up for the 74 as well. And we need to go back and take a look at this one. Not sure if it was maybe a mistake. Let's go back here to where Robert E. Morrison decides to jump down. Okay, here you go. Getting into the trivals where he's going to make his move. And how much gap did he have? Gets a little bit of a push there from Michael Triscaro. But you see the 15 is pushing John Guerra. And, you know, I don't know if he necessarily had meant to go down there, if he got turned. Yeah, he certainly didn't get turned. I mean, Michael's not even on his bumper. So I'm thinking he goes down here. He wants control of the inside, and unless he got loose, I mean, he overshot it by a mile. That was a really odd look. Let's see if we can watch from the cockpit view, and then John's going to cut him a break here, lets him back up. And then John thinks better of it, thinks about going to the middle, and instead is just going to bail out of the throttle here to tuck back down to the inside. You see that's going to stack up to 15 next. And then Alex Green, the 62, gives him a shot. And, I mean, Les Levy, nothing he could do. And now that they're 3 wide, again, we talked about it at the start of the race. It's so tight here at Legacy Daytona. It's not very wide. And they tried, and it doesn't work at all here. I'm not sure if the 15 tried to slide up. No, Robert Jordan makes some contact with the outside wall. And then seems like it's okay for a little bit. The 15 hits one of the bumps, and that just sent him right up the track into the 74. They get locked together, and it pins the 15 up on his side here. Almost got upside down. Rides along the hood of Robert Jordan. I don't think that Alex Green has terrible damage from... Oh, he did get T-boned at the end, though, so I take that back. It's definitely, I think, potentially a look at a fast pair for Robert Jordan, unless he wants to run at the back for a while. Yeah, actually, I take it that's a pretty good hit. I think the 15 of Alex Green is going to have to use his fast pair in this one as well. Dusty Burkhart not quite able to stop in time. You saw him get involved. Let's take a couple more views of it here. Right on board the cockpit view here of Alex Green, and watch how quickly things narrow down. There's the move in the middle, and then there's the bump. It telling you, it just does not take much. Now going on board here with Robert E. Morrison, let's watch this move in the travel here. See, does this look like it was by design, or does he just get loose? You know, he may have went to make the move, and I'm not sure if he hit one of the bumps or the back end just stepped out right as he went to make the move, and that kind of amplified it. But he did a pretty good job of saving it. There's Michael Triscaro on the top. Nonetheless, your second caution collects two and a half cars, if you will, with Dusty Burkhart piling in at the end. And Michael Triscaro being scored as your leader. Richard Sanchez looks like he's looking to take the wave round of the lucky dog. Dawson Wise still scored a lap down. Stephen McComas, though, I think he was the one that got the lucky dog through this, and he is now back on the lead lap. Nice job, Stephen. Michael Triscaro, though, being scored as your leader. Cody Nagels in second. DJ Thomas back in third. Les Levy in fourth. Les Levy, excuse me. John Guerra back in fifth. Dana Osborne in sixth. Robert Jordan in seventh. And it's Robert E. Morrison currently rounding out your top 8. Chad French ninth. And the last man inside the top 10 is Vicente Guerrero in the 14. Don't have the one-to-go signal yet. I think we're going to probably get it this next time. So as we get ready for the restart, we're going to take our first break of the night. We'll be right back.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com to browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Back live at Legacy Daytona International Speedway for the Chevyland 200, presented by Bubba Winningham, of course, general manager. Michael Triscaro going to be lining up the outside. He's going to have a couple teammates around him here. Cody Nagels on the inside, and then the 20 of DJ Thomas to be lined up on the inside. The 62 of Les Levy on the outside. And then Robert Jordan, I think he probably did take one of those faster pairs right here, although might still see a little scuff in the front. Nope. Nice and clean. He's ready to get back to the green flag. Pace car is going to pull off, and Cody on the inside, Triscaro on the outside. We'll see how they decide to work this out. Kind of two options here. You either control both lanes, or potentially do we see Cody jump up to the top or Triscaro jump down to the bottom? We're going to find out. Green flag back in the air. 28 of 80 laps completed. We're approaching that 30 lap mark. And with that caution, I think that's going to move the pit stops probably back to closer to around lap 50, depending on how far guys can stretch it, maybe a couple laps sooner. And the 6 of Cody, who just a little bit of a bobble right there in front of DJ Thomas. Again, right now everybody's got pretty new tires, so handling's not too big of an issue. It's just working the wheel as a driver. It's when we really get late into the run where things kind of start to become a little bit more of a struggle, if you will. Guys trying everything to hold on. We talked a little bit earlier how we're going to talk about points and standings. And as it is right now, it looks like Cody Nagels coming into this race is your leader in points. Michael Triscaro second, and then of course DJ Thomas, the win. Well, got the win at the first race of the season, if you will. He is currently sitting in that third position. Sanchez in fourth, Alex Giffen rounding at your top 5. And you know, it's early in the season, so we still got a ways before we have to worry about any of this. But looking at that playoff cutoff line, if you will, Dawson Wise right now only 5 points above the bubble, and Dana Osborne currently sitting 5 points below the bubble. Overstreet also just 5 above, and Brian Kimbler currently 7 below. So it's still a really, really close battle in points, tight. And each race that we have is going to completely shuffle that up. Now next week, that's when we change things up a little bit. We do head, actually it might not be next week, in fact it's the week after. I think next week's is still the Xfinity Series. No, it's not. Next week is our first week in trucks. We do head to Talladega Super Speedway, and yep, first race in the trucks. Daytona in the trucks is the race after that. Back to Talladega in trucks again, and then Daytona, same track right here, Legacy, is going to round out the round of trucks before we go back to Xfinity. So you kind of get the idea, just kind of an alternating schedule, if you will. I'll tell you what, this is a tough track, and one of the most fun things that we could probably get here is an interview from a driver mid-race. Cody's kind of our designated guy for it. We'll change things up a little bit as the race goes on here, but let's see if we can get a word with Cody here as he continues to run second in the pack right now. Hey, Cody, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Cody-like.
And we'll try him again here. Hey, Cody, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? And I don't think Cody is able to hear us right now. So we're going to go ahead and drag him back down. We'll see if we can maybe get one of the other Limitless guys in here. See if we can get a quick word here from Dawson Wise. Hey, Dawson, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? Well, I know you're mid-race here, so if we're affecting you too much, feel free to let us know. But I figured what better way to kind of explain to the audience just how tough this track is than through one of the guys that was involved in that first caution. I mean, first off, tell us about the bumps and, I mean, how physically challenging this track is.
Oh, it's tough. You know, running on the bottom, especially like DJ's down there right now. He's saying it's hell down there. Obviously, we want to be up top. I was up top leading. I'm sure you saw that. It was just for pure comfort. I just did not want to deal with the bumps, and you know, the wheel shakes so much, even going down a straightaway here, that I just did not want to test it. And I don't know. Something about being up top here. It's a lot more comfortable.
Well, in an 80-lap race with 50% fuel, we're always kind of keeping an eye on that fuel strategy, pit strategy, and do you have kind of an idea here of what Limitless's strategy in general here is going to be here for this next pit stop? And are you guys trying to kind of separate yourselves from the field, or is it just kind of going with the big group?
It's absolutely separate ourselves from the field because we know what we've got in our group, and it's really solid if we can get hooked back up. So I think the goal here is get everybody close to the front, all pit at the same time. We might short it a little bit to do a two-stop here and just get ourselves some separation and run away from the field. I think that's the goal. Even with me a lap down, I think the goal is to be helping each other out. Even if we are a lap down, I think that's the whole goal here.
Well, still plenty of time, plenty of things that can happen. Hey, thanks for talking to us even while you're driving. We're going to go ahead and send you back down to your team. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it, Austin.
And man, tell you what, I don't know if it's because he does broadcasting on the side, but he seemed Nice, cool and collected, calm, cool, collected rather, during that interview. And you see it through the gyro cam. That thing is moving all over the place. Very, very bumpy track here at Daytona. On the outside, Cody Nagel's still getting a push right now from Michael Triscaro. And on the inside, the 62 machine here of Les Levy still runs that inside. Just behind him is the 20 of DJ Thomas. The 88 of John Guerra, Robert Jordan to his outside. And then David Overstreet in the 68 riding side by side right now with the 94 of Chad French. Remember, he was involved in not what was a caution, but one of the incidents, the first incidents of the race, if you will. And that got him out of the pack, lost the draft. But he got that caution, he got a couple of them actually. And it's allowed him to get back up here and continue fighting. 34 though, laps complete. Approaching the halfway mark. Going to be halfway in just 6 laps once we cross the line this time. But Dawson said, goal is to try to pull away from the rest of the field, leave your competition in the dust. So they might try to go in a couple laps early. Again, there's not too much strategy to be played now of stretching it to a certain lap. The strategy now is there's only going to be, well, there's going to be 2 more stops from this point on. And one of those stops is going to be for probably about 10 laps of fuel. And the other stop is going to be for the full 20. So it's just how do you split it? Do you decide to go in early on this stop? And that would be maybe going in when you only have 10 laps of fuel left. And then, of course, filling it up to the brim on the next stop. Or do you wait, run out the full 20 laps on this stop, and then on the next stop only take 10? Just kind of those mind games of what these drivers have to do, all while going about 190 miles an hour. Speaking of speeds, let's take a look at the speeds here, along with the weather. On the right side of your screen, track temp has went up a degree here, as in sim time it is currently almost 2 o'clock, 154. Winds are slightly varying, it looks like at 2 miles an hour. And temperature outside is 77 degrees. Partly cloudy skies, and yeah, that track temp, that is what is causing so much of the handling issues right now. No cloud cover really in sight. I mean, I know it says partly cloudy, but still very sunny on track, so I don't think the track temp is going to cool much, if any, through the remainder of this race. And notice the speeds here. A little bit slower than what we're going to see at any of the other tracks, and that's because these guys just can't really keep up the speed they get down the straightaways through the corners. But how about Les Levy in front? Up 12 from where he started. Chad French, who we were just talking about, he has now made his way up to the lead on the outside line. He's up 11 from where he started. And then Robert Morrison, who actually Les Levy is going to lose a position here to the 94. I was going to say, got to assume he drops down. Sure enough, there he goes. Oh, man, the 62 on the apron. Save it. Les Levy, he does. He holds on. Robert Morrison on the outside now. And how about Dawson Wise here? I don't think this was... Well, I mean, it was obviously by design. I don't think this was necessarily the initial plan, though, to get back up here. But at this rate, he's looking like he might try to get his lap back the hard way here. And if he can be the leader when the caution comes out, he won't have to worry about fighting anybody else for the lucky dog. Granted, he's probably leading that lucky dog battle right now as he now leads the outside. Robert Morrison, a little bit of hesitation. Saw that earlier, caused a little bit of an incident. This time he was a little quicker with the reaction as he jumps down to the bottom of the track. Right in front of the 94 of Chad French. Moves on back to second. John Guerra looking to take the lead here. We'll see. Does Dawson? Dawson does go to the bottom. A little contradictory from what he told us earlier. Remember, he said he didn't want to go to the bottom. He felt safest up top. But, of course, with him not really being on the lead lap right now, this might either be a kind of a thing out of respect to the other drivers, or maybe he does feel safer on the bottom at this point. But John Guerra scoots right on ahead with the 15 of Alex Green. Dawson Wise maybe kind of hitting himself a little bit right now, saying I should have stayed up top. But nonetheless, the 88 of John Guerra on the top, Alex Green on the bottom. Those two have been working pretty good together so far here tonight. We've seen them working on the bottom for the most part, but they were really fast just then on the top. And we're going to have one drop out. That is going to be Chad French. Not sure if he didn't like what he was seeing, but the 94 is going to go all the way to the back of this draft. The 69 of Dusty Burkhardt. He's got some front end damage. And I believe this is that damage that he acquired from that last caution where he did on the apron make significant contact with the 15, I believe it was actually, of Alex Green. And it looks like he may have chosen not to use the fast burn. I mean, again, if you can stay up here in the lead draft, there's really no point in using it at this point, especially even if we have green flag pit stops. I mean, when you come in for the pit stop, all you got to do is check that fast burn. You're not waiting on it. So he's not at a disadvantage by not taking it yet, since he's able to still stay with the lead pack. It's just going to be a matter of does he get any more damage in the wreck? And, you know, I think his strategy right now, or if I was driving the car, I guess my strategy would be, if I already have damage, go up there and be as aggressive as you can. And that way, if you get in a wreck, you say, well, I already had some damage, so what's a little more? And then go take the fast repair. But Dusty's playing it safe right now. Back up to the front, though. There's the view from Alex Giffen, your current leader. As these guys all fly past on the front straightaway through the trial. And man, tell you what, new Daytona from old Daytona is so night and day. It's hard to believe that they used to race on this track in real life. And I feel like the Xfinity cars, not the best for it, but they've been handling pretty well now. The Truck Series is a series that I'm really interested to see. They used to bottom out pretty hard here. So when these guys head back here in what would probably be about a month's time or so, it's going to be in the trucks, and we'll see if what they've learned today in the Xfinity cars translates over, or if it's just kind of a completely different beast to tame. And we're definitely going to see a lot more pushing next week in the trucks at Talladega and any of the races the trucks run. We will see guys pushing through the corners, down the straightaways, everywhere. And here we go. Limitless, ready to play some strategy. Dawson Wise is going to lead them in. Not on the lead lap, but he is leading the strategy play. A little bit of lockup. Michael Triscaro trying to hold on to it. Gets in the grass, goes 3 wide with his teammates, but he does hold on. And so Limitless looks like they are going to go with the strategy here of pitting early. We'll see how the rest of the field reacts to this. And they'll either come in early as well and try to kind of put a Band-Aid on the wound, or they'll wait and try to run it out, see if they can run a little bit faster. And with Cody going in here, so now they're going to set themselves up. They'll run this next run out on fuel. So they'll go 20 laps, so they'll pit around lap 60. And they'll have to take full fuel, so it could be a mixed bag here. They all get on and off really smooth, it looks like. In fact, I don't think any of them got any penalties. Dawson Wise, of course, needing to get the lap back, but he's still going to pit with his teammates. And, yeah, some other guys are going to take this opportunity to pit as well. Mark Mann, Richard Sanchez, and Dana Osborne, they all come into the pits. And I was trying to see if those guys were potentially in a room together, and it doesn't look like it. Richard Sanchez and Mark Mann are. Dana Osborne, though, I think may have just decided to go in with these guys. And so we'll see how they come out in comparison to the Limitless guys who we just saw go in the pits. And keep an eye on them. Cody Nagels coming off turn 4 now. Chad French stuck in the pits, but Richard Sanchez making his way off the pits. And take a look at the pit lane camera. There is the Limitless crew. And they're trying to get to the back bumper here of Richard Sanchez, who is just now working his way through 1 and 2. Mark Mann got a phenomenal pit stop. I think they're going to catch these guys. I don't think that's going to be so much of the issue here. Yeah, they're certainly going to catch him. Very, very slow, methodical approach to the apron here at Legacy Daytona and getting off of it. And, oh, one of them spun it. That's the 8 of Dana Osborne. He lost it. Coming off of the apron. Trying to get in the throttle just a little bit too early there, and he spun himself out. Take a look. Yeah, he's already on the top there. He is pushing it back in, slipping and sliding, and back tire just gets slightly on the apron, spins the wheels a little bit, and he goes for a spin. Doesn't draw the caution, though, so we stay green, and it's probably good news for the Limitless guys. I think they want to see this thing stay green a little bit longer. But majority of the pack has still not pitted just yet. We'll see if they decide to pit this time. And no takers yet again, so this group might try the strategy of just staying out as long as possible and see if the lap times flip. Cody Nagels is back in front of this second group, and now it's a matter of can they track down the lead pack. Adam Kilday is currently the last car in this lead pack in the 85 machine, so Cody right now, as it stands, he is tracking him down. And I feel like Legacy Daytona, of all the super speedways that we do head to, is probably the one where you can make up the most time on pit cycles because nobody really feels comfortable pushing. It's not like the other tracks where you just automatically lock on in the straightaways and through the corners. I mean, these guys have to make kind of risky decisions and business decisions on when and where they want to push. And if Dawson gets a little bit more aggressive here on the back bumper of Cody, that front pack, who maybe is playing a little more conservative, they will lose some time. And now it's kind of even back out, and in fact, the second pack's losing a little bit of time right now. But they'll continue to work around and see if they can find any sort of time. And then, of course, all it takes is a little bit of a mistake on the pits for this second group, and that could be another area where they make up all the time at. So it's still side by side up front. And usually that's not the best idea if you're trying to make lap times. And it's only 2 cars on the outside right now. The 70 of Stephen McComas And the 80 of John Garrett, just as I say that, a couple more takers going to jump up. David Overstreet. And looking just behind him, I think that's Bubba Winningham. No, Bubba just behind. That's the 84 of Len McNeese. And I wonder if that means the 15 and the 99, Alex Giffen and Alex Green, are they thinking about pitting right here? We'll see. Yep, sure enough. And I think the 99 of Alex Giffen, yep, those two might be teammates. Oh, a lot more takers than just that. Oh, but 66 of Bubba Winningham. He missed the cone. I don't know if that's considered a penalty or not. We'll see here momentarily. But the 15 and the 99, they all get in clean, and they're going to try to get into their pit boxes nice and clean. And sure enough, there goes Alex Green. The 99 is 2 pit boxes behind him. We'll see who gets a better launch on exit right here. There you go. And now we're going to see how this files out. There's the pit cam. These guys just now leaving the pits. And there you go. There's the group of all the guys that have already pit. And they are single file, and they are running fast. They are going to get past these guys easily. In fact, taking a look here at Cody Nagels as he works down to turn 1 and 2. They're still on the apron. It's going to be close on whether or not all these guys hang on to the draft. Speed difference is still probably about 20 to 30 miles an hour. And there they go. Let's look at the back here of whoever's hanging on to the back of this pack, which I believe is going to be Richard Sanchez. And let's see if that second pack is able to hold on. Right now the gap's 2 seconds. I think they left him. They did. Over 2 seconds it is. So this group of 4, now they're going to have to get their act together and try to catch the back bumper of Richard Sanchez. And I think if I'm Cody and all these guys right now, I know we got another pit stop, but I think I'm saying, guys, do not make a move. Stay single file. Stay nice and smooth. We can pull away right here. Stephen McComas has brought it down to the pits, so he may have gotten... No, Bubba Winningham was the guy that we thought had a penalty, and yeah, he must have, as he lost the draft by quite a bit. And looking at your track map, a lot of separation right now between the differing packs. But if we go up here, Adam Kilday currently rounding out the back of that second pack up where Cody Nagels is. And the lead pack has pitted, so I'm going to hold that thought. I was just getting ready to say, let's see if they're catching, but they have came down to the pits. And we'll see how smooth they can get in and out. And now, can the group led by Cody Nagels, can they pull away right here? Taking a look at the pit cam. First car is out, and oh, I think they're going to pull away from this group as well. John Garrett did not get the best pit stop. But I'm thinking this group is going to be able to sneak away right here. 62 trying to get up to speed. That's Les Levy, and here comes the cavalry. Yeah, he's not going to be able to hold on to it. So through all the pit cycling, we did narrow down the lead pack to what's going to be 7 cars here when this is all said and done. Actually 8, including the 94 of Chad French. Must got a penalty as he is being scored a lap down now. And Limitless has the top 4, if not top 5. Yeah, top 5, 6. Man, oh man, top 6 positions of this lead pack made up. Mark Vanna, Richard Sanchez, the 2 teammates, they're still hanging on. And these guys actually been making up time. They have. And they're going to use that. That bridge car really helped them right here. Looking who that was. Can't tell. But Alex Green used that big time to his advantage. The 94 Chad French, but just behind him, I think it was Bubba Winningham, actually. And yeah, sure enough, it is kind of acting as a bridge between that second pack, the lead pack, if you will, and the second pack. And that has allowed Alex Green and them to pull just a little bit more time. Yeah, they continue to pull time here. Now down to 2.3 seconds. And the group just behind these two, currently being led by Les Levy, they're attached onto that pack. So there's still a chance that we see the groups all kind of converge back together before the next round of pit stops. But they're only going to have about 10 laps or so to get there here once we cross the line this time. And you saw that the pitting early strategy worked really well, so I think Limitless here going to probably pit as soon as possible. I think the fuel window, I would say it's probably going to open right around 20 laps. Remember, they pitted on lap 60 coming to 61. So somewhere right around, I would say lap 60, maybe 61 at the latest. But for now, they continue to stay single file. Coming up on a lapper here, that's the 70 of Stephen McComas, who worked so hard to get his lap back. Unfortunately, he's going to lose it again right here. And look at the gap. Alex Green, they're right there, just about in drafting distance now at 1.6 seconds. And I think they do have a little bit of a draft. Alex Giffen continuing to stay tight and push hard here until they're within a safe distance. And yeah, 1.3 now they got there. They got the job done, and these 2 lappers are just going to help them pull up that much quicker. So now the pack's going to grow by about 4 to 6 cars, and that might make some of these guys get a little bit racy. See if anybody looks for track position here before this next pit stop. Looks like Mark Manna and Richard Sanchez are. You see those 2 currently sitting in 6th and 7th. Mark now up 11 from where he started. And we know Mark's plenty capable here. He likes to play that safe strategy. That's part of the mixed bag you get at these super speedways. Some guys like trying to lead every lap, and some guys, they say to themselves, I mean, there's not really a point in leading early. I'd rather lead late when it matters, and I think Mark's kind of going with that strategy right now as he sits currently in that 3rd spot on the outside line, 6th overall. Michael Triscaro on the bottom, catch up to his teammates. So right now, Limitless has the entire bottom line controlled and a pretty good portion of the top. 2 cars on the top, 4 on the bottom, and I think that was by design. Now then again, Dawson said he felt comfortable up top. Now what I am a little surprised at right now is that Cody and Dawson don't try some sort of switch, if you will. Remember, Dawson not currently on the lead lap. He is in the lucky dog position, but if he had the lead here when the caution came out, he wouldn't have to worry about getting the lucky dog. Get his lap back the hard way. We'll see if him and Cody try to sort that out at all. Dana Osborne getting lapped right here. He's going to tag onto the back of this pack, and looks like the 2 guys right now that, a couple guys actually, David Overstreet and looking who was with him there, the 84 of Len McNeese. They are not on the lead pack. Neither is John Guerra all by himself right now. So is Robert E. Morrison. And there you go. Dawson Wise. Nope, excuse me. Mark Mann to the bottom, rather. Very, very impressive move. Cody's still trapped up top. And they're going to have to start maybe thinking about getting down. Not sure how many lap of a buffer you feel like you need to give yourself here, but pit stop's going to be approaching in 6, 7 laps once we cross the line this next time. Been a good race, though, so far. 2 cautions. The first one just for kind of a racing incident. Second one, same deal. But the racing overall here has been a lot cleaner than I would have expected it to be. Just, again, simply because of how tough the track is. We talked to Dawson earlier. And from the in-car, if you haven't seen it so far up to this point tonight, take another ride here. Mark Mann on the inside, the hardest place to ride here. And just bump after bump through the entire corner. There's Mark Mann. One of the veterans. I believe he has... I'm not sure if Mark has 2. I believe he does have a championship under his belt. Cody riding the top. It's a little smoother up top. And I think the general line that you try to run up top is left side. It's kind of on that seam that you see. Down the backstretch doesn't matter quite as much. And then the 2 pushers are the ones that have their hands full here. Dawson Wise on the outside, and him and Cody are going to get clear. And that should be the general signal here. Pit stops coming up here at any lap. Actually, I take that back. Maybe not just yet. They're still going to run probably about 6 or 7 laps. But getting down and getting set up here, they don't want to have to get themselves in a position where they have to force their way down. So that puts the 15 and the 99, the 2 Alexes back up top. The 34, Michael Triscaro, one of the Limitless guys, still looking to see if he can get down to that inside line. Just behind him is the 85. And right now, well, not so much right now, but through this pit stop, I got to wonder if some of the guys such as Mark Mann and Richard Sanchez, even Alex Green and them, do they maybe switch up their pit strategy a little bit here? Seemed like pitting as soon as possible was the best strategy. And so you got to kind of ask yourself now, do they maybe try to pit with the Limitless guys? Now, the thing that's, I would say, in the favor more or less here, if you will, is all the guys that pitted later during that run, they have to take quite a bit less fuel than the Limitless drivers. So they're going to make some time up on the pits. And it's just going to be a matter of can they make enough up to try to pull away, similar to what the Limitless guys did to them on the first pit stop. Michael Triscaro, big bobble right there on the outside line. He saves it. But Alex and Alex now splitting the lanes, and they're just going to continue, I think, to single file down to the bottom as we have now hit 25 laps to go. Again, expecting pit stops here in about 5 laps or so. So before that time frame arrives, we're going to take another commercial break. Going to go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Stick with us.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com to browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Back live for the Chevyland 200 here at Daytona International Speedway. Current leader Alex Green with 23 laps to go, expecting green flag pit stops here. At this point, probably about a couple laps from now, I think the Limitless guys will be the first to go down. And the only thing that we're waiting to find out is who's going to follow them. Strategy worked out well on the initial pit stop, the first green flag pit stop we had. And, you know, this one, it's a little different, of course, because the guys that pitted later, they're going to have to take less fuel. So it's kind of at their, I think they have the advantage at this point. If they wouldn't have caught up to Limitless, then I think Limitless would be in a good position. But Mark Mann, Richard Sanchez, Alex Green, all these guys, well, actually, Mark Mann and Richard Sanchez, I believe, pit with the Limitless guys. But Alex Green, he did not. And he is probably in the catbird seat for now, has to take the least amount of fuel. Is leading with 22 laps to go. Probably in the safest spot, too, being on the inside leading. A couple guys further back on the outside trying to make something happen. Looks like the 99 of Giffen along with the 85. And Adam Kilday, thought maybe he was a lap down. He is not. But Alex Green is your second biggest mover, third biggest mover, rather. Adam Kilday is your biggest mover in the top 10. He is up 18 positions from where he started. That's set in the battle for second for biggest mover right now. It's tied between Alex Giffen and Mark Mann, both up 12. And then Alex Green, who is currently leading, he is up 11. But how about the run right here from the outside? Two cars you don't really need anymore here, apparently. Alex Giffen making it work with Adam Kilday. They're trying to get clear of the bottom. And I think the progress that they were to make encouraged a couple other people to try to join in with them. And seeing that right now here with the 15. Getting a little bit of a kind of a contest for the lead here. That top line is really loose. Here we go, pit stops. Did they catch him off guard? I felt like it was a little bit early here, but oh man, a lot more guys this time around. Oh, Cody got in the grass. I think that's going to be a speeding penalty for the 6 car. They were really trying to get in here. They know that they got to make up as much time as possible on the pits here. We'll see if Cody gets a speeding penalty here. Mark Mann into his box. And a couple of the other guys that weren't with Limitless, looks like the 62 of Les Levy, Richard Sanchez, Mark Mann. Like I said, I think they were on a similar strategy, or in the 62's case, he just wanted to follow the strategy. There you go. Les Levy had to take a lot less fuel, and you saw the advantage right there. And it's a mad dash scramble out of the pits. Oh, my goodness. 62 out by big margins, but again, I think he should have waited to pit with the other guys that had to take less fuel, because now they're just going to catch him, and it's kind of going to cancel out whatever gain he would have made. And apparently Cody did get down to pit speed. Oh, Trasquero's in the grass. That's one of the Limitless teammates. No caution. We stay green. And did he get some help here, or was this by himself? Les Levy has crashed as well. Take a look at that in a minute. He just gets loose all by himself, goes through the grass, and then Les Levy, who had the big advantage, again by himself. It's a tricky apron, and does the exact same thing as what we saw earlier with Dana Osborne. Spins on exit and goes around. So whatever strategy he was trying to play is going to be ruined now. Michael Trasquero is still falling back. He's probably going to need a caution. And now, of course, so is Les Levy, who is now by himself. 19. Oh, the 99 gets turned. Save it, Alex. He does. Holy moly, what a save from the 99. And he still tries to make it to the pits. Not sure if he got a speeding penalty, but man, what a save. We'll have to take a look at that one. In fact, let's back this up and do that. Holy cow, I thought the 99 was going straight back up to the outside wall here. Is it a late move, an early move? What happens here? Yeah, the 99 gets on the apron here, and then the 15 follows him. Just different braking points. Alex Green just slams him in the back. That turns the 99 up, and wow, that was a close call for, I believe that might have been the 69 of Dusty Burkhart. Yep. And then the 99 still chooses to commit here, and I believe makes it down. Pit road speed was really close. Yeah, he did lock it up. That's hard to say. We'll have to see, but again, a heck of a save from the 99. So Dusty Burkhart, David Overstreet, Len McNeese, Adam Kilday, all the guys still out on the track. And they're just coming back out here. Alex Giffen, Alex Green. There's Cody Nichols. And so it looks like the strategy of having less fuel to take on the second stop doesn't look like it's going to quite work out. Maybe gains you a little bit of position, but it's not going to gain much. So we are going to have a big cluster of drivers here for the final stint here, if you will. Oh, we're going to have a caution here. The 88's not going to save that one. John Guerra goes around, and caution is out. big damage for the 88, the 99, and the 14. And all that strategy that these guys worked so hard for down the drain now. As this is going to put us a restart within 15 to go, and things are going to get crazy. Let's go take a look here. Does John just get loose by himself? Does he wash up? It's a little bit of an odd look. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide. That's what happens here. John 3 wide. He's trying to hold the middle. And does he get in a bump here? Not so much, but Robert Jordan was close to the wall. He had to come down. And when Robert Jordan was coming down, he hits the 88, so that he just kind of ran himself out of room. Nothing John could do there, and then back up the track. Wow. Big hit as the 88 does a backwards wheelie. And Vicente Guerrero piling in late, nothing he could do. Yeah, that's a big hit for the 88. Slides down the track. Comes to a halt just before the inside grass. And so that's going to be quite a bit of fast repairs through that one. A lot of damage accumulated through that wreck. Last to look at it. Man. Big hit for John. And I'm sorry for the big ghost in the middle of your screen. Either way, we head back live now. Dusty Burkhart is being scored as your leader. Remember, he was out, I believe, as that caution came out. So he might have been able to go down here, pit, top off. And he might be in the best position of all these guys. There's the 88 of John Guerra. And he's bringing it down the pits now to get some repairs. And this may have trapped more guys than initially would have been expected a lap down. And looking at John Guerra, sits in 21st as of right now. And yeah, he's going to need probably some cautions. He does have a fast repair. He's probably got both still. But he still currently sits on the pits for now. Richard Sanchez now being scored as your leader, so Dusty and them must have decided to go into the pits. And Robert E. Morrison, and it looks like Mark Mann maybe? Nope, Mark actually being scored as your leader. I think Robert E. Morrison's looking to see if he can get the wave around right here. And so the restart's going to be probably more like 13 laps to go, if I had to guess. And we know things get crazy here at the end. That is not a lot of time. Everybody's not going to have to worry about fuel or tires. But, you know, if you're either in the back right here or if you came down to top off, I think it's a pretty good call here to take some tires. Again, at any other super speedway, I don't think it makes you much gain. I don't think it matters that much. But here at Legacy Daytona, having a little bit more handling than everybody else is going to be a huge difference. So we'll see how they decide to go about it. Looking at where we head next year on Ghost Racing Network. Let's go ahead and check it out here real quick.
Ghost Racing.
And that is the wrong thing. Over here to the advertisements announcement. Tomorrow, Monday, September 11th, it's going to be the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series presented by Alloy Real Repair Specialist. Second round of the playoffs. Excuse me, not second round, second race of the first round of the playoffs, rather. That's going to be for the Kansas Fall 200. That is going to be a good race. You do not want to miss out. Saw the Cup race today, of course, and Kansas is just such a fun track all around. See guys ripping the wall, guys on the bottom, slide jobs, high speeds. It's just such a fun track to be at, and can't wait to be there. And then, of course, for the NSRA Sunday Select Series next Sunday, we will be back, and that will be the first race of the season in the trucks. And it will be back at, I believe it was Talladega, we said earlier. So as they come into the travel here, see if they get the one to go signal this time, and also if Robert Morrison gets the wave around right here. And lights do go off, so we'll go green with 13 laps to go. And sure enough, Robert E. Morrison gets the wave around. He'll catch the tail end of the field. And Stephen McComas has retired from the race. John Guerra now being scored 2 laps down with the damage that he's got. And in fact, all the way up right now to Bubba Winningham. Bubba Winningham on back is a lap down, so 14th on back. 8 cars a lap down. That's a lot more than what we're used to seeing here. And they're all going to be fighting fiercely for that lucky dog position. We'll see what Bubba can do here. How cool would it be to win the own race you're sponsored? He's still got a lot of work ahead of him, but step 1 here is going to be getting that lucky dog, getting your lap back. And then step 2 is by no means out of the possibilities. If he can get that lap back, he very well might have himself a chance at winning tonight. We'll have to see. David Overstreet in the 68, lining back up on the inside. Looks like he's about the 6th car back. And so with 13 laps to go, this might be the time now where we finally start to see some through wide. I think everybody kind of waited and waited until we were at the absolute end of the race before they wanted to even think about trying it. But guys further back, if there's only 2 lanes, at a certain point you're going to get stuck. And I think somebody somewhere is going to take it through wide. It's just a matter of who does it first. And I would look, you know, I think my pick for that, maybe look back here to Cody Nagels in 8th. One of the veterans of the league, back-to-back championships. You know he's not scared to get aggressive. We'll see if he decides to indeed be aggressive right here. And be the first guy to go through wide and maybe get some takers. And you know, if you're on the outside, do you want to take it 3 wide in the middle or the top? With what we've seen so far today, I don't really know. It's a hard pick for me. I mean, there's bumps on the top, bumps on the bottom. We'll have to see who can make it work. Here we go. Robert Jordan and Richard Sanchez in row 1. Sanchez chose the outside. Back into the restart zone. 13 laps. Green flag back in the air. Good jump for the outside. DJ Thomas trying to get to the back bumper of Richard Sanchez here pretty quick. Meanwhile, Robert Jordan, not quite the best jump, but Mark Mann quickly there to back him up. So they will stay side by side as we go down into turn 1. And now the 510 jumps out to the lead. He's got a chance to drop low. We'll see if he stays high. Man, DJ Thomas doing a lot of pushing through the turns. Usually that's a no-no, but on the get up to speed lap, seems like he was able to make it work pretty well. And before these guys get too crazy, how about a little crank it up here from Legacy Daytona? Here we go. We got a wreck. Big wreck. This is going to be the big one here at Daytona. A lot of drivers collected in this one. You couldn't tell who it was, but you saw somebody dart down. It might have been DJ Thomas. And then this is the end result. I mean, it is a parking lot over here in turn 3. Looks like everybody, though, was able to roll away from it. But there is going to be some fast repairs from this one. And they were still too wide. Just, I'm not sure if DJ Thomas maybe got a little bit of tunnel vision right here. Let's take a look. And get through the turn here. Not pushing Richard Sanchez, but he sees Sanchez dive low, and I'm not sure. I would say he went to follow him, but it looked almost like he got loose more than he went to follow him. Let's go back here to DJ Thomas. Take a ride on the cockpit view here. Watch the wheel. Let's see if he gets loose or if he tries to follow. No, he just gets loose. Yeah, he was trying to stay to the back bumper of the 510 initially there, and a little bit too much wheel input, and just got him loose. And wreck in the front of the pack is usually going to take out quite a bit, and here you go. Yeah, not too many guys were able to get through that one without at least a scratch. A couple more views. 69, Dusty Burkhart. Wow, the 66 of Bubba Winningham. I saw him sneak through that. I don't know how he did, but he certainly found a way. Let's take a couple more angles of it. Man, he got tagged in the back. And you go, Bubba Winningham. Let's go to the cockpit view. And watch this. He's going to, I think, just sneak by just before things get too ugly. Oh, my goodness. Barely gets by on the outside. I think maybe he just got a little bit of a scrape, maybe on the left front. But, wow, that was really close. Going back here live up front, Richard Sanchez is being scored as your leader. Adam Kilday in second. Cody Nagels back in third. Alex Green fourth. David Overstreet fifth. Les Levy in sixth. Len McNeese back in seventh. And Robert Jordan currently sitting in the 8th position. And it's going to 10 laps to go as we stand right now. But when we go back green, it's probably going to be, let's say, 8 laps to go here. Assuming we get the one to go this time. And aggression's just going to continue to ramp up. Still no 3 wide though yet. The only times we've seen 3 wide tonight is when somebody was trying to gather their car up. It was definitely not something the field looked like they had wanted to be doing. And while we're on a break here, caution if you will, let's see if we can pull one of these guys up for a quick word. Let's actually see here. Alex Green's been having a heck of an up and down night. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him. Hey Alex, this is Austin up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's been kind of an up and down night, but for the most part, you've been going in the right direction here. Through pit strategies, cautions, you survived them all, but not sure if you really got many teammates around up here, so what's going to be the game plan?
Figured the game plan would be keep all 4 tires on the ground, keep the track pointed, keep the car pointed, and make sure to turn left.
All right, well, if we start to see sometimes in these races when we get into these late restarts, we start to get quite a few of them. And if through those restarts you find your way to the front, do you have a preference of top or bottom coming to the checkered flag?
Oh, the bottom is absolutely miserable down there. I cannot stand it. Sorry, I have an audio issue. Something just pulled out here.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, we'll let you go. Good luck the rest of the way. And I hope I didn't put Alex in the wrong chat. I believe he's actually in there with some of the teammates, Bubba Winningham, Chad French, Mark Mann, Rick Sanchez. Now, Bubba Winningham, unfortunately, with that slight contact, prevented him from getting the lucky dog, so he is still being scored a lap down for the moment. And yeah, it is going to be an 8-lap to go shootout. And we are still under an hour and a half here race time. So these guys, again, been doing a pretty good job. Only 4th caution of the night. You average that out here, we're only about a caution every 20 laps as we stand. But again, things get a little messy at the end, so I'm hoping that I'm not giving it the broadcaster's curse as of right now. And as they roll down the backstretch, keep an eye on David Overstreet. Still looking for a breakout win here on the season. But on the inside, Adam Kilday. How cool would it be if he could get his first win of the season here at Legacy Daytona? Cody Nagels, though. You know, actually, I was going to say I don't see Cody just pushing him to it, but with how tricky the track's been and how Cody's looking in points right now, he's one of the guys that he's always looking bigger picture. So I think Cody right now knows that he's currently leading the points battle, knows that if he can finish here in second, he might be able to stay that way. So he may very well commit here to the 85 for these last 8 laps, assuming the 85 stays low and keeps a pretty wheel. But that outside has seemed to roll so good during the starts and short portions of these runs. Now, this is a little bit of a development right here. Not too big of a deal, but track temp has now cooled down significantly, down 7 degrees from where we started at 121. Still very toasty. Handling still an issue, but it's going to improve it a little bit here as we are now at about 2:30 sim time. All right, here we go. 8 laps to go to decide a winner at 08 Legacy Daytona. How about that? Green flag is back in the air. Through the trial will we go, getting through the gears back up to speed. It's a pretty even start between Kilday and Sanchez. Takes about a lap to get up to speed, and then with 7 to go on forward, that's when you start asking yourself questions. Who is going to be the first one to try 3 wide? You got to think somebody's going to do it. Do they wait till the white flag? If we make it to the white flag without a wreck, then this race would be official. Here's a big run on the outside from Richard Sanchez and Alex Green, trying to get him clear, but he gets a little bit unlatched. Cody Nagels was staying on the back bumper. Cody's going to jump up, though, here. And, man, Adam Kilday is probably saying, well, what the heck? Everybody just left him. That allows Green and Sanchez to get clear. Do they drop low? No, they're going to stay up top, at least for the moment. And we will see that 3rd lane is going to be a lane higher. We'll see the Sanchez and Green maybe try to move up a little bit higher. Do they go down, or do they continue to ride the middle, where it seems like they feel pretty comfortable at right now? Here we go. 7 laps to go this time. Take a ride on board here a little bit further back in the pack. Actually, go even further back in the pack here to John Guerra. John sees the bumps, and right now he is just watching ahead, seeing if these guys are going to do anything crazy. Maybe he can get one of those laps back. And Sanchez now starting to play with the lanes a little bit here. We had one off further back. I think it was Dusty Burkhart. But up front, Sanchez, he's going to try to work these lanes a little bit top to bottom, depending on whichever one has the run. He saw Cody up top, decided to roll the top. On the bottom, Alex Green leads. He does have Adam Kilday behind him, but they're still waiting for some more help from somebody. And right now, it's Len McNeese in the 84 trying to get to the back bumper of those two cars. 6 laps to go. The 15 with another little bit of surge of momentum there through the tribal. Tries to draw side by side. Another thing that we got to keep in mind is it's not as much of an issue here as there's not as much pushing, but these guys still got to keep their temps cool. And the closer Cody rides to the back bumper of Richard Sanchez, same thing for Adam Kilday. The quicker those temps are going to heat up. And man, you saw that outside really trying to pinch the inside here to stay even and then get the run down the backstretch. But each lap, it's going to be harder and harder to pinch the inside. They just kind of bobble up a little bit. And if Alex Green finds a way to take the lead here within these next 8 laps, does he maybe think about jumping to the top? He gets clear for a split second. Wash it up. He's going to get split here if he's not careful. Adam Kilday had to check up. That's going to cause a stack-up effect throughout the whole field. Looks like it was able to kind of suppress itself enough where everybody keeps it clean. And now Cody clear the bottom. He's going to make the move on Sanchez. Here comes Cody Nagels. And if he gets clear, I think he's going to be one of the guys that tries to jump back to the top. It's a little hard to do, though, through the turn. I think he's got to wait till the straightaway. And he's going to wait just a little bit too long here. Here comes Richard Sanchez back. He's got some momentum here down the Daytona Super Stretch. Is it enough to get anywhere? No move yet for the third lane. Everybody continuing to stay 2 by 2. Who's going to be the first taker? Well, we are going to be coming to 4 laps to go, and I do see a lapper going to be in the picture right here. Back looking at who that is. Is that going to be Dawson Wise, by the way, has retired from the race, it looks like, unfortunately. And that's the 18th position running car, it looks like. Michael Triscaro, yeah. So Limitless would like to pick him up at the back of the pack, maybe get some extra manpower here, but that's going to suppress any efforts of 3 wide here for the extra lap and a half or so that it did. Oh, and Triscaro loses it. Oh, and the whole field's going to pile in. Oh, my goodness. Did not see that one coming. Holy moly. That took out just about every single car. It was about 10th on back. Oh, my goodness. And there are some unhappy people right now. That look like Kevin LePage all over again. But I know Michael wasn't trying to step. I think he tried to get down to the apron here, and it's just such a rough transition. And he wasn't quite slowed down enough. Man, that is a tough, tough break for the field. Watch this. Slows down, goes to the apron, and it just a little too much speed. The back tire is still on the apron, and the field had arrived on scene. So when he slid back up, he got tagged in the back pretty hard. Watch this here in slow motion. They see him sliding. Cody's trying to jump high. And does Cody survive it? The 15 certainly doesn't. He couldn't see. Richard Sanchez gets up into the outside wall, but I do think him and Cody walk away. Looks like 62, Les Levy and David Overstreet all get through, but then everybody else, I mean, just absolutely nowhere to go. Parts and pieces flying. Michael Triscaro in the middle of it all. Vicente Guerrero looks like he was able to get slowed down in time along with the 25 of Larry Dickerson. The 94 of Chad French, one of the guys looking to get a lap back. He's involved. Let me play this out full speed for you so you can see just how quick this all happens and how hard it is for these guys to react. And I'm thinking the 15 of Alex Green, who, man, he was having such a good night. You hate to see that for him. Tried on board with him. And just kind of a blind, can't really see it until it's happening, and it's just too late. Oh, man. And then at that point, the wreck's on. Well, it brings out your 5th caution of the night, and it is going to send us into our first of 2 green-white checkers. See if we can finish this thing hopefully under green. It's a good thing we do not have voice chat on. I'm telling you, there were some unhappy campers right there for that one, I have to believe. Triscaro may have parked it for the night. So Cody Nagels, Richard Sanchez, they both survive, and they will be both making up your front row here again. Les Levy back in 3rd now. David Overstreet in 4th. DJ Thomas in 5th. Mark Mann 6th. Vicente Guerrero in 7th. Dusty Burkhardt in 8th. Len McNeese in 8th. Len McNeese 9th. And Robert Jordan rounding out your top 10. And as we should get the one-to-go signal, I believe, this time around. But again, it's an overtime, so these laps aren't technically counting to a certain degree. So as the pace car works off, we are going to take what is hopefully the final commercial break this time as we get ready for overtime number 1 here at Daytona. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Ghost Racing Network now has merch. Go to grnmerch.com to browse our selections from stickers to custom-made by request hoodies and shirts. If you've ever wanted to support Ghost Racing Network outside of YouTube, here's your chance. Ghost Racing Network, for the scary side of iRacing.
Back live at Daytona for the Chevyland 200, the conclusion of it rather. Getting ready for the green flag for overtime number 1. Again, overtime rules, pretty basic. Green, white checker. We're going to take the green flag. If we have a caution on that first lap, then we will rack them up and do it again. However, if we take the white flag, the race will be official. We will crown ourselves a winner. We do have 2 tries at overtime, so worst case scenario, if we can't get it done on this one, we will crown a winner on the next one. But hopefully these guys can keep it clean. I mean, you know, from a driver's standpoint, I think I'm more stressed out on the first lap than I am the white flag lap, because you're sitting there and you're hoping that you can make it to the white flag. You don't want your chances of winning the race to end under caution. And Cody on the outside here, I think Cody had the lead. Yeah, he did. So I think that's a smart choice on Cody for choosing the outside. He's got a great pusher, and David Overstreet behind him, and Mark Mann. That's a very, very strong trio of cars. The inside, Les Levy and DJ Thomas, plenty of talent down there, especially with that rookie sensation there in DJ. He got a win here at Daytona. I know it was regular Daytona, but Daytona nonetheless. 2 laps. Will Cody stay on the outside, or if he gets clear, will he drop low? And can he find himself in victory lane here tonight? Limitless dominated through the middle portions of the race and a little bit early on, but they've gotten so separated with different guys being involved in different things since then. Can Cody kind of bring it home for him? We're about to find out. Green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go here at Daytona. Sanchez with a great jump. Not so much the case for Les Levy. No help right now on the inside. It's Sanchez all by himself. Looked like Overstreet was taking a look to see if he could maybe get cleared to try to drop down and help his teammate. Couldn't quite make it work, and now Les Levy has closed up the gap enough, and they are back to side-by-side. A lot of pushing going on out back. Vicente Guerrero pushing his teammate DJ Thomas. Gets him a little out of shape. Here we go. Drag race down the Daytona Superstretch. Can everybody hold it together here? Surge of momentum from the outside. Cody got clear maybe for just a split second. Not enough to really make anything happen here. Does he drop back low? No. He's going to stay high for now and in front of David Overstreet, and I think he's going to go ahead and stay up top here for the rest of this race. Here we go down the short chute out of turn 4. Everybody's going to keep it clean. We're going to see the white flag one more time around Daytona. Can Cody hold on? Richard Sanchez still fighting hard on the bottom, but you can see they're just not able to get locked up here. This could allow Cody to get clear, and if you're David right now, do you think about taking the 3 wide, or do you commit to Cody further out back? Some trouble to 15. Alex Green got into the wall. Him and looks like the 85 of Adam Kilday. They were trying to definitely make the 3rd lane work. John Guerra thought about jumping up with him. He's not able to make the block in time. Side by side still up front. And that 3rd lane, I'm telling you, watch out. They might have a chance here through 3 and 4, but it's still all Cody Nagels in the middle. Contact, Adam Kilday into the outside wall, so the third lane dies out for now. Now Mark Mann's going to jump up a lane. David Overstreet, final gas. He falls off the back bumper now. The inside with a big surge. They're wrecking out back. Here we go. It's going to be a drag race. Classic Daytona style. Richard Sanchez on the bottom. Below the apron, he wins it by 1/100th of a second. I don't know if it's going to go against him by going under the yellow or not. And with that, I don't know yet who is your official winner at Daytona. What a finish, though, nonetheless. Let's take a look at this before these guys figure it all out. Coming out of 4 here, Mark Mann tried to get the third line working. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite do it. And then they start wrecking. Dusty Burkhardt, I mean, they all start piling in right here. But then up front, they wreck again. David Overstreet and the 62 Les Levy get together. And DJ Thomas is not going to be close enough to really have much of an impact. So here you go. Cody coming down here. And then Richard Sanchez, maybe he got a little loose. But, he does stay below it. Doesn't really make an attempt to ever come back up. So they might give that to Cody. Again, I'm not sure if the rules are a little bit different here. And, man, let's go to show you just how close this was. Man. I mean, he barely got it. If we were at Talladega, Cody certainly would have had that one. And let's take one more view here from the onboard of Richard Sanchez. And let's see if he just gets loose. As they all start wrecking out back here. No, he doesn't get loose. He chooses to go down there. It may not be against the rulebook to do that here. Again, I'm not sure. But, checkered flag in the air. And I don't even see anybody over here doing a burnout. I'm not sure if these guys just decided they didn't want to or what. We're going to get it figured out here because we're going to have your top 3 in the booth. Looking at your finishing results, though, here tonight. It looks like, as for now, again, we'll confirm here during the interviews, but as for now, Richard Sanchez being scored as your winner, Cody Nagels in second, DJ Thomas third, with David Overstreet in fourth, Les Levy in fifth, Vicente Guerrero sixth, Mark Mann in seventh, Adam Kilday in eighth, Bubba Whittingham in ninth, Dusty Burkhardt back in 10th, Glenn McNeese finishes home in 11th, Robert Jordan 12th, Alex Green brings it home in 13th, and it's going to be Robert Morrison in 14th. Dana Osborne finishes 15th, Alex Giffen in 16th. Moving on back to 17th, Larry Dickerson, John Guerra finishing in 18th. Chad French in 19th, Michael Triscaro 20th, Dawson Wise 21st, and Steven McComas rounding us out in that 22nd position. And on that note, we're going to get your top 3 for interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, back live here at Daytona International Speedway. Going to start with your third place finisher here in DJ Thomas. DJ, all set up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do, Austin. How's it going?
Good. Well, a little bit of a crazy race there at the end, but overall, you look pretty strong and you come home with a podium. Tell us about your day.
You know, it's a lot crazier than I thought, and the track handled it actually a lot better than I thought. A lot really bumpy out there. Great racing out of everybody. Pit strategy with my team, everybody did great. Cody, Vicente, Wish, both Dawson, and everybody else have had better days. Michael, especially Michael, had horrible luck. Dawson, like I said, having horrible luck, but glad I got a P3 finish. We're still doing great in points, so hey, let's just keep on going.
Doing great on points. Get yourself a win on the season and a good finish here tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
I said my teammates, everybody at Limitless again. My cousin Avery tuning in. Same with Seth, Josh also tuning in. Austin, Ghost Racing, everybody. Thanks for hosting these, and yeah, let's go get it next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for talking to us, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Austin. Have a good night.
You too. All right. And so what we heard initially from Race Control here is that the win is under review, so we're not exactly sure who won it yet. So on that note, we're going to take just a quick breather, probably about 30 seconds here, and see if they've made a decision yet. All right, and it looks like after official review, winner is declared Cody Nagels. 510 was EOL'd for going below the yellow. Not allowed to do that here at the Super Speedways. So, going to talk to Cody here first as David is getting some things settled out. That moved DJ Thomas up to second, by the way. But Cody, you're the winner tonight. How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. Hated that the wreck happened that last caution. I don't think that Robert was trying to do anything malicious. But I think he tried to drop below the apron just a little bit too late. He probably should have done it, on the entry of the corner instead of mid-corner. So that was unfortunate, and it cost some people races that had been running a good race. But I was able to get my preferred line on that restart, and then I just had to pinch and just hope that it was enough, and thankfully it was.
Well, you got the points lead. This is going to help you go ahead and stretch that lead. On to the trucks, though, next week. How you feeling? Are you more of a fan of the Xfinity or trucks? Do you think you're going to do even better in those?
Oh, fan of the trucks all day long, man. With running all the PGR races on Thursdays at Dega, that combo is my favorite, the trucks at Dega. So I'm not going to be laying back any. A few times in this race, I felt like I had to lay back and just be smart, lay in the weeds, and I don't see myself doing any of that, or the team for that matter, next week.
All right, before we let you go tonight, is anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank you for broadcasting NSRA. Thank all the admins for their hard work behind the scenes. I want to thank Limitless Esports for getting another 1-2 finish and helping our point situation. Had a couple guys have a rough night, so we just got to maybe try to help them guys get a win next week. I want to thank my parents for tuning in and my aunt and uncle for also tuning in. They come over and helped me out with some stuff around my house and then went home and watched the race. So thankfully I got a win with them watching.
All right. Thanks for talking to us, Cody. We'll see you next week.
Yep. And just one more thing real quick. Thoughts and prayers out to everyone that was involved with 9/11. I know that's coming up tomorrow. So God bless our troops and God bless the USA.
All right. Hey, sounds good. I like it. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And let's see if we can get a quick word here with David. He might still be busy. And we got him, the man that finished third here tonight after the EOL of the 510, David Overstreet. David, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, a podium maybe didn't necessarily look that way with some of the craziness going on in that last lap, but even through the wreck coming out of turn 4, you still managed to finish on the podium. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, that was a wild night. Really clean race to be 08, I thought, but just a wild last lap there. Net code involved and everything, so I guess I'll take a third for that way.
Well, I want to kind of ask you the same question I asked Cody here. Next week, we head back to the trucks at some smoother super speedways. Now, between the Xfinity and Truck Series, is there one that you kind of have a preference over?
Right now, they're all about the same with the new damage models. So, like I had 1 minute and 50 seconds of damage there. So they're pretty much. I like how the trucks push a lot better than the Xfinity car. But
All right, so we'll keep an eye on you then next week. Hey, before we let you go though tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
yeah, thank you for broadcasting and everybody else for coming out and watching, and hope to see everybody next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the 3rd place finish.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, David Overstreet, your winner tonight. Cody Nagels after a last lap EOL to Richard Sanchez. Another great night of racing, and we'll get to see it all again next Sunday. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a great night. We'll see you next time.